How you do? It is Thursday. The shops reopened on Monday. I've decided I'm going to do a loot hunt. I was going to go somewhere else, but I decided I haven't done one in Canterbury for ages. I'm hoping there's new stock. I'm hoping Big Paulie didn't wipe out everything when he was here the other day. It's relatively early for a day off for me. I've just taken some stuff off to CEX to be for trading, so they're just dealing with that. And I thought, you know what, I will come to the highest point in Canterbury and film the opening. I'm hoping that all the noise is not too loud because it's right by a road, but you definitely get some phenomenal views of the city, which I'll show you in a second. Also, like Kermit's Ghost, I like to start my hunt with a coffee. There's nothing wrong with McDonald's coffee, mate, but in Canterbury, we're gifted with lost sheep. So I've got myself a nice oat milk flat white. Not because I'm a vegan, but flat whites taste better with oat milk. It's just a fact. So I'm going to enjoy that. And I'm also going to enjoy this amazing view. And so this is the incredible view from where I'm sitting and having my coffee. And as you can see, it's blooming lovely. There was my finger. Blooming lovely. So we've got the cathedral, which is about there, which you can't see my finger, so it doesn't matter. You got the cathedral, and then there's the Marlow, which is the theatre, which is that weird pointy looking building. And then we've got these lovely houses. I'm in Dane John Gardens, and I'm on top of the mound. So yeah, that's why I'm sat up here. I've got my mask, I've got my hat, I've got my trusty backpack, which is about to blow down the hill, which is actually blowing down the hill, excuse me. Got my trusty backpack. I'm going to sit and have a coffee, and then I'm going to take you on a little loot hunt. So I will see you in a bit. And yeah, feeling a little bit more normal. This is good. This is good. My budget is £30 for today. I'm not anticipating spending all of it, because I bought I bought Dragons Forever yesterday. Because I saw in Paulie's video that they had some with the slipcover in HMV, so I went in and nabbed the last one as it goes. But yeah, £30 to spend, and then I'm meeting Emma for lunch in a pub, so I can have some beer. Well, pub garden, but I can have some beer at last. Yes. The first store I went into was, of course, CEX. I went back to the store to pick up the credit from my trade-in and to spend the credit from my trade-in. Obviously went to the £1 DVD section first, spent about 40 minutes here looking for films for 50p Movie Club. Got lots of films from here for 50p Movie Club, one of course of which is The Dinosaur Hunter, which we reviewed in the first season. Next up is a completely different charity shop to the one you just saw. This is the Melzer House, not British Heart Foundation, but as you can see, there's a great choice of DVDs here. One of which is, of course, this edition of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Great movie. Also next to it, we've got Piranha 3D, which is pretty cool. I have major trouble in this shop putting DVDs back into the stack one-handed and make a complete mess of the shelf, which is really nice of me. Next up is this DVD, The Family Man. Not as exciting as I hoped, but as you can see, can't get it back in the shelf, so really sorry about that, the Meltzer House. I did tidy up after, you'll be pleased to know. Now, I point out this movie here, A United Kingdom. This is supposed to be really good. I've been meaning to watch it for a while, haven't got around to it. I've adopted a new strategy now. Instead of pulling them out, I just point at the DVDs I want to talk about. So the next one is, of course, the The Night at the Museum collection, which I really like. The Jack Reacher sequel on Blu-ray. We've got some various different DVDs here, one of which I point at, and I have no idea what it is, so hopefully you guys can read that. We've got Big Mama's House 2, Two Brothers, which I thought was a game. Didn't realise it was a film, but there you go. Moulin Rouge, Emma's favourite. There's various other DVDs in this section. Smoking Aces, Mamma Mia, if you're into that kind of thing. I'm basically on the lookout for stuff, either video game movies or 50p Movie Club section. Goodbye Lenin
is definitely a film that I want to watch, which is why I pull it out here. So we're in Burgate Books. They've got normally got a brilliant paranormal section, but there wasn't much here. But I thought I'd show you these Ladybird books, which I used to collect once upon a time, and these ones were quite cool. So those of you that watched my last Canterbury loot hunt will remember that I tried to go in this shop and it was actually closed. I was very pleased to see that it is open, and when I got in there and went upstairs to the paranormal sci-fi ghost stuff section, I nearly had a meltdown because I have never seen so many cool books in one place, as you can see from this footage. So obviously there is all the usual horror authors that you'd expect. Big section of Stephen King. Got a very tatty, well-loved copy of It here, which I think I pull out of the shelf. It's got some of the original book artwork on it. I was quite tempted by that because I've never actually read the book, but not today. There's also other Stephen King titles. Gerald's Game, which has got a very good Netflix adaptation. There's also a copy of a book called Doomickey, which I saw a couple of times on this loot hunt, so I don't know whether that one's just not that popular. The Strain is a very interesting and exciting book. And then we get to my favourite author, James Herbert, and you'll notice that there is a gap, and that may or may not be because I picked up some James Herbert books from here. 48, I have no recollection of ever seeing that or hearing that before. I mean, it must have been out for a while. But The Moon is a book that I am fully aware of and very much enjoy. These hardbacks were lovely, but they were very appropriately priced, which is why I left them behind. We've got June, obviously, with the new remake coming out soon. Lost City of Z, which is another film-based book. No, it was another book that a film is based upon, even. And we've got some other sort of sci-fi, fantasy stuff. There's a whole collection of The Dark Tower by Stephen King there, which, you know, if you're that way inclined, pick up. I still need to see that film with Idris in, actually, and see whether it's any good. And then I've just worked my way up from the bottom. I pull out The Passage by Justin Cronin here. This book is supposed to be really creepy and worth a read, but that size puts me off ever so slightly. I don't know if I would be able to manage that. I do get bored quite easily, if you haven't noticed. Lots more fantasy and sort of scary books here, rattling through. They are in alphabetical order. They're really well looked after in terms of the shop, and it's well stocked, and it's for the local Catching Lives charity. The other master of horror, of course, is Clive Barker. These are not titles that I recognise, rather, but Cold Heart Canyon definitely looks like one I would be interested in. And then just moving across to the graphic novels, they had a really wide range of graphic novels here. They also had 3 of the 4 books of Joseph Campbell, who did 4 books called The Mask of God. I had one of them, but it looks like I gave it away, which is really frustrating. And then just some more ghost books.
Okay, well, I am back. I have to say, town was super busy. There were lots of people out and about. It was lovely to see, actually. It was good to see people out and about, all masked up, keeping a safe distance. Made it very hard to film. So as you all have already seen, there wasn't a whole lot of footage. Also, there were a number of places that were still closed. So there were less charity shops than I normally went on. And I also chose not to go into the Level Up games simply because I was very close to spending my entire budget by that point and I didn't trust myself. So we didn't go in there, but we will get there at some point and I'll show you some footage. Hopefully you would have seen a little bit of where I went. I've got a whole host of mixed media today, physical media. I've got books, I've got CDs, and I've got movies. Lots and lots of movies. This is going to be a long one, so strap yourself in. Maybe get yourself some popcorn, whatever your favourite movie snack is, and let's get started. Before we get into what I picked up today, there's a couple of things that I just want to share with you that I've got in the post. Some of it arrived today, and then I've also got a pickup that I got from HMV the other day, which I've already alluded to, but I wanted to show you because I'm very excited. So, first of all, I got a package from these beautiful people in Bristol, Specialist Subject Records. I spend a lot of time posting stuff about them on my Instagram. I love them. I love the music that they put out, and that is what I've ordered. So I actually picked up 3 CDs from Specialist Subject Records. I think in an ideal world I would have picked up vinyl, but I don't have a record player. I don't have the space for vinyl, and I don't have a vinyl player in my car, but I do have a CD player. So that's what I went with. So I picked up this album here by Don't Worry, called Who Cares Anyway. I have been listening to this constantly on Spotify, and I think it's a brilliant album. It's kind of got modern, kind of brand new vibes with a modern baseball twist. Leave in the comments if you can describe them better, if you know who I'm talking about. But this album cover is also exceptional. I think you just need to appreciate that. I'm going to bring it a little bit closer so you can see it. Isn't that cool? 11 tracks, released by Specialist Subject Records, is available on vinyl, came out in 2018. Spin it a whole load on Spotify, so I thought I'd pick it up. As you can see, it's still in shrink wrap because it only arrived today. Next up, I actually picked up 2 albums, or both albums, by a band called Fresh, who are a British band as well, female fronted, not that that matters, but they are. And they are flipping awesome as well. They must have a new album coming out soon-ish. They've got a song out at the moment called Girl Clout, which has been on a couple of my 50p mixes of the week because I'm very much into it. I prefer this album to this one, Withdrawn. This is their debut, but they're both really good. 11 to 12 tracks each. I recommend giving them a listen. That's Fresh. So this is their debut album. I'm not going to be able to get that without the glare. Debut album. Latest album so far anyway. So check them out. Also available on Wax. And if you want to order them, I recommend ordering them from these guys. I also picked up, just to show you out of interest really, I also picked up this this Make Your Own Zine because I am working on something and this is going to help me, hopefully. That's what I'm working on anyway. So yeah, pick that up as well. So that was my little bundle from Specialist Subject Records. I was very excited about that. One other thing that I want to show you before we get into the pickups is... yes, it's Dragons Forever with a slipcover. So I nearly pulled the trigger on this on the 88 Films website without the slipcover. And then I was watching Big Paulie's latest video when he was in HMV in Canterbury, and he just commented on the fact that they had those there. So the next day I rushed out and I got it, and it was the last copy. So I'm so grateful. So we've got the slipcover, and in preparation for doing this, as I always do, I've switched it over to the Hong Kong artwork, which is very cool. 2 discs. Please don't fall out. 2 discs and a booklet. So got the disc 1, nice thickish booklet, and disc 2. So super excited about this. This is Samo and Jackie from 1980. It's supposed to be cracking. I've watched Physical Media Madness's review on this, and it's definitely check the boxes. It's definitely checked the boxes for something I'm interested in watching. So I thought I'd pick it up with the slipcover. So that's Dragons Forever, which I'm very excited about, and it's just another movie for the Jackie Chan collection. So yes, let's get into the pickups. If you can hear some noise, that's the dog next door barking. I normally stop for it, but I can't afford to wait because I've got so many pickups. So as you'll remember, at the start of the video I said I'd been to CX and I was waiting for them to trade in some stuff. So I got trade-in of around £30 I think, and I managed to find £30 worth of stuff. I'm going to give you a warning now. I know I always bang on about how I don't want to get any more DVDs. I want to stick to Blu-rays. There are loads of DVDs in this pickup section.
that is for two reasons. The majority of them are 50p movie club fodder, so they are definitely things that are going to go into the pile to watch for 50p movie club, whether it's for the show with me and Dave or whether it's something I work on later down the line. Secondly, I went through my DVDs and I split them up into 50p movie club DVDs, which are out here on the shelf behind me. No, in front of me, sorry, behind you. And my regular movie DVDs, and I realised that by doing this I now have space for more. So what has normally been a barrier in the back of my mind has gone. So needless to say, I've probably filled that space today. But I had about £30 worth of, around £30 worth of credit in CEX. So everything I'm about to show from CEX doesn't come out of the credit, out of the budget, because it was essentially free money because I was trading in a load of like 10p stuff and it added up to a good amount of money. So good stuff. I also actually got rid of the first 6 seasons of The Walking Dead because they were sitting taking shelf space up on Blu-ray, and I was like, I would watch it again, but I'm happy to wait until I can find it on a streaming service. I'm not that fussed on it. So I got rid of them, and that added up to the £30. Anyway, let's see. So I'm going to start with the £1 section DVDs. So you saw a little bit of footage up there of me showing you a few things. It was very hard to film today because there's so many people out and about, and I get really sort of awkward around when I'm filming. I shouldn't do. So yeah, it was really hard to film. So there's not a lot of footage, but you did see some of what was the 50p section is now a pound section, and I'm going to take you through what I bought. So first of all, as you know, if you've watched any of these videos before, I like a video game movie. Picked up quite a few last time. I think I only picked up one this time, but hey, it's got my man in it. I picked up Doom. And my man, of course, is Dwayne The Rock Johnson, not Carl Urban, in case you were wondering. But yeah, so I picked up Doom. This is the extended edition, apparently. I've never seen it. I played the game, various forms of the game, but I've never seen the movie. I don't know if it's any good. It's £1. It'll go in the collection. I was really looking for the first Mortal Kombat film, but couldn't find it. I need to order that later, actually. But yeah, I was looking for the first Mortal Kombat film. Couldn't find it. Picked up Doom instead. I feel like it's a poor cousin, but hey. So that's Doom, just £1. Next up, those of you that follow me on Instagram will know that I've been on a bit of a Wesley Snipes kick recently. I put up a little poll asking what's your favourite Wesley Snipes movie, and no, has Wesley Snipes ever been in a bad movie in the 90s? I got various suggestions, most of which I thought were actually good movies, and one of the ones that came up was this film. Now I remember this film, and it's the Money Train. He's reuniting, or this might be before White Men Can't Jump, I don't actually know, with Woody Harrelson. And I remember this being quite a good movie. So I saw this for £1. I've got quite a few Snipes on DVD at the moment. They haven't quite expanded to Blu-ray yet. But when I saw this, I was like, yep, this is what I need to pick up. So Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson, Money Train. If you've seen it, if you like it, let me know in the comments below. Another actor that I'm also on a bit of a kick on at the moment, as you probably gathered from that one of the first pickups I showed you and from my previous video, is Jackie Chan. I picked up this movie, which also has Donnie Yen and Jet Li in, so I was like, this is a great one, and it's called The Founding of a Republic. I have never seen this, I've never heard of it. I saw Jackie Chan first, and then I saw who else was in it, and I was like, yes, I need to see this. I don't know whether I'll keep hold of this, because it's on DVD. But, you know, those three together on what looks like a pretty big budget film, it's worth £1 to me, so that's good stuff. I am here for this. So that is The Founding of a Republic, with Jackie Chan, Jet Li, and Donnie Yen. Awesome. The final DVD that I actually picked up from my own collection is actually an French animated movie, which I have seen once in my life but can barely remember. And when I saw it, I was like, I'm going to pick this up because I'd really like to watch it again. I don't know if I'll hold on to it, but I'm definitely going to watch it at least once to just remind myself of it. I have a feeling I really enjoyed it, so I may well keep hold of it. It is a Tartan DVD, and it is Belleville Rendezvous. So this is a French animated movie, and it's got some awesome characters in it, and I can't remember the gist of it. I'm not even going to read it from the back, but I have seen it once, and I really want to see it again, so I picked that up from my collection. So that is Belleville Rendezvous. while this is up, I'm just going to have a quick rant. These stickers, CEX, if you're watching, these stickers need to go. They're too cheap. They don't come off. They mark the cases. They're a pain in the bum. We don't need them. We know what you sell. We know what you buy. We're in your blooming shop. Take these stickers off, please. They damage things. So those first 4 DVDs from the pound section are for my collection. The next 4 DVDs, although there are more than 4 films, are all for 50p movie club. I was sorting out the 50p movie section yesterday. I was going through it and I realised I had quite a few multi-packs of like really cheap straight to TV movies, and I was thinking to myself, you know what, even if we don't watch these for 50p movie club, I'm definitely going to watch them myself, and you know, I might throw up a little short review video of each of them. So I was basically on the lookout for more. And the first one I came across, well, no, actually I lied. The first one I came across was a 2 movie pack, which featured the movie Summer City and The Big Brass Ring. Now, I had this in my hand and I was about to seal the deal and take it, mainly because because the description of Summer City, which I'll read to you in a minute, was so short and brief, and it had Mel Gibson in it. I was like, okay, I've got to see what this is. But just as I was about to go to the counter or go back downstairs to pay for it, I noticed out of the corner of my eye a Hollywood drama 4-pack. And in this 4-pack were those 2 movies plus another 2 movies for £1. So I was like, that is the pack I'm going. So I picked up Hollywood DVD drama. So we've got Drunks, Shadrach, The Big Brass Ring, and Summer in the City. Now, I have never heard of these movies, and you might be sitting there going, oh yeah, that such and such a movie is like a big bucks Hollywood movie. I don't know why he's talking about this. I've never heard of them. They look like 50p movies to me. The only thing that's suggesting that maybe there is a bit of budget is that William Hurt is in The Big Brass Ring, and Mel Gibson is in Summer in the City. Harvey Keitel is in Shadrach, and Faye Dunaway is in Drunks. So there are some big names, but we've seen big name movies, big name stars in poor movies before, so I was intrigued by this. But the reason I picked up Summer in the City in the first place is that this is the synopsis. 4 young guys go looking for beautiful girls, cool surf, and whatever fun they can find. That's it. That sold me. That description alone sold me. I have no idea what it's about. It's got Mel Gibson in it. Who knows? So, first pound DVD from CEX for 50p Movie Club is 4 movies. The Hollywood DVD drama selection. Next up is a 4 movie collection, of which 2 movies, or 3 movies, no, 2 movies, I have actually heard of before. One of them we're definitely not doing for 50p Movie Club because it's too well known a movie. But yeah, so this is 4 action films for £1. So we've got Lawnmower Man, which is obviously fairly well known. Grand Theft Auto, which I've also heard of. And then we've got Who Dares Wins, and we've got Year of the Gun. Now, those latter 2 films I haven't heard of. Obviously, I know Who Dares Wins is very links to SAS and things like that. But I've never heard of them. These 2 films I know, but I don't own and I haven't seen for ages. This one I don't think I've even seen. This one I've definitely not seen for a while. So I thought, you know what, for £1, I may have a couple of 50p movies, but I may also have movies that I'm quite enjoying. I remember enjoying Lawnmower Man for what it was when I saw it, but hey. So yeah, 4 action movies for £1. Next up, I got another multiple movie pack. Now this one, you're going to say to me, why did you pick that up? Well, this is a 3 movie action pack, and you'll notice at the top is Amsterdam Heavy, which is a movie that we reviewed in the first season of 50p Movie Club. Me and Will watched it, and Will was not a massive fan, and neither was I. However, I have misplaced my copy of it. I had no intention of rebuying it, but when I saw it in a pack with 2 other movies that were potentially 50p movie worthy, I was like, I've got to have it. And so I got another 3 movies for £1. So far, for the total of £3, I've got 11 movies, and that was my brain working there to do the maths. It's late, I've had a long day. But yeah, so we've got Amsterdam Heavy, we've got Red Line, and we've got Battleground. So I'm there for that. The final 50p movie is from one of our favourite 50p movie picture houses, Asylum Pictures. This is the wonderful 500 mile per hour Storm. I can only imagine this was released around the time of 2012 and Day After Tomorrow, because doesn't it just look like it? So yeah, 500 mile per hour Storm. At 500 miles an hour, disaster is inevitable. When an experiment goes disastrously wrong, a rash of massive hurricanes rip across North America. A scientist must get his family to safety before the hurricanes merge, creating a hypercane with the power to wipe America off the map. So yeah, usual kind of Asylum hitching off of mainstream movies to sell a few DVDs, but this is what we're looking for 50p Movie Club. So this is definitely going in a 50p Movie Club section. So as you'll notice, of that £30, I spent £30 credit. I spent £8 of that credit on DVDs. But I also picked up 7 Blu-rays, you'll be glad to know. And the first Blu-ray that I want to show you is my man, Wesley Snipes in Blade. I shamefully don't own this on any format. I really like the first one. I like the second one. I think it's the third one I've got little less time for, rather. You know, it's £4. It is Blu-ray. It's not packed with special features at all. There probably is a newer, better copy of this, but I thought, you know what, I'll get this before we get Mashal Ali's version of it for the MCU. So, yeah, Blade. It's a bit of a no-brainer, really, isn't it? Wesley Snipes, Blade, Blu-ray, perfect. After that, I picked up I don't know how to describe this, but basically, it's got some of the Python guys in it. It's from the same team that brought you A Fish Called Wanda. It's A Fish Called Wanda's slightly less good cousin, and that is Fierce Creatures. Now, I went to see this in the cinema with my friend when I was probably too young to see it, off the recommendation of my friend's mother, because she liked A Fish Called Wanda. I remember enjoying it, but lots of it going over my head. I have seen it since as an adult, and it does hold up. It's not A Fish Called Wanda's level, but it's still amusing, and you know, John Cleese and Michael Palin. So you know, it's good. It's good enough. So yeah, I picked up Fierce Creatures. Next up, I'm on a bit of a DC animated movie kick as well at the moment. So many kicks. I could be playing football. I saw this. I saw some others. I saw one with Harley Quinn in it. Batman and Harley Quinn, I think it was called. And I was like, not feeling it so much. But then I saw this one, which is a comic that I know little about. I kind of want to watch the really sort of cartoony network version of it. But I went with this. So this is Teen Titans. The Judas Contract. I am very keen to see this. I think DC do a really good job with these animated movies. And there's so many of them. I just want to watch them all. So yeah, I picked this up. Teen Titans. Looking forward to seeing that. The next one I picked up is apparently some of Colin Farrell's best work, and loads of people have said that it's worth seeing. So I picked up The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Now this has been in CEX since before the last lockdown, and I've looked at it a number of times, and I thought to myself, you know what? It's only £7 brand new on Amazon, so I don't know why I'd be paying £6 for it from CEX. But I had credit today. And I was like, actually, I do want to see it, and I'm not going to order it from Amazon anytime soon. So I was like, rather than spending real money, why not do it? And this has obviously got the slipcase. There's no alternative artwork or anything like that. Hopefully I can get this ridiculous sticker off and it doesn't damage the slipcase. But hey, The Killing of the Sacred Deer is supposed to be really good. I'm looking forward to seeing this. I'm glad I picked it up. The last three are kind of interesting, I'd say. So the first one's fairly straightforward. I got Bruce Willis' Last Boy Scout. It's pretty standard action flick. I enjoyed it the last time I saw it. I haven't seen it for a while. I've not seen it on Blu-ray, like out and about. I've probably seen it on HMV, realistically, but I've not seen it secondhand anywhere for a long, long time. So when I saw it sitting there, I was like, I'm going to nab that. So I picked up The Last Boy Scout. I also picked up Foxcatcher, mainly because it was £1.50. I've been meaning to see it for ages because it's about wrestling. I know it's about collegiate wrestling, but it's about wrestling. And it's supposed to be quite good. And it's Steve Carell not being funny Steve Carell as well either. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing it. The slipcover's a bit tatty, but it was only £1.50. If this sticker ruins this, I'll probably just ditch the slipcover. But yeah, Foxcatcher, let me know if you've seen it. Put some comments in down below. The final one from CEX, we haven't even got started on the hunt yet, and this is 23 minutes long, I'm sorry. The last one is a movie that I've seen plenty of times, but I thought it was about time I owned it, and especially at this price with a slipcover, and that is Attack the Block. Flipping good film for what it is, really. This is a double play one as well. Apparently it's got Blu-ray and DVD. I didn't check to see whether they've given me both, but yeah, for £1, that's awesome. I like this film. I'll definitely go back to it. I'm doing this thing at the moment where I'm watching all my Blu-rays at random out of a pot, so I'll add this name to the pot and hopefully it'll come up soon, because it's a good fun film. So yeah, that's all my pickups from CEX, and all of those were outside of the budget. Outside of the budget. So yeah, I picked up all these, which is pretty cool. I like trading. It feels like free money to me. I know it's not, because you're giving them money really, because you're getting no value for the things that you trade in, but hey. So then we did the charity shops, and we went out and about. It was just me. I don't know why I always say we. It was literally just me. The first charity shop I went into was the British Heart Foundation, which was next door to CEX. You would have seen it on the clip. I went in there. They had a lot of stuff. It seemed a bit more than I wanted to pay. All the Blu-rays were priced at $2.99. Some of them higher. There wasn't really anything that made me go, oh yeah, I want to pick that up. I'm willing to pay loads of money for that. But I did think, you know what, at $2.99, this film I've been meaning to see for ages. It's supposed to be really good. So I picked up Troll Hunter. Now it's got one of these weird Blu-ray. I'm so glad they've kind of phased out doing these, but one of these weird Blu-ray slipcovers where the top is open. It's only like it's not 3/4, but it's this bit doesn't get covered. But anyway, Troll Hunter, this is supposed to be a really good creature feature. I took it up expecting to pay $2.99 for it, and then the lady asked me for £1.49, and I realised, I don't know if you can see it, but actually the $2.99 is crossed out and it has $1.49 on it. I was pleased that I was only paying £1.50 for this, because I feel that's much more reasonable, and this is supposed to be a really good film and I really do need to see it. But I was also a little bit gutted that there wasn't anything else there that I wanted when I realised it was half price. But never fear, because the next charity shop I went in more than made up for it. But anyway, this is Troll Hunter, £1.49 from British Heart Foundation 1. Next up, I went into a charity shop that was cancer research. I don't like cancer research. I do like cancer research. I don't like the cancer research charity shop in Canterbury because of the way it's laid out and the kind of stuff it sells. And actually, the things that I'm interested in are getting smaller and smaller. But I was looking through the physical media section and I saw a Blu-ray and I was like, Cine Asia. I like those movies. This is one I've not heard of. It's got Chow Yun-fat in it, who's obviously quite a famous actor. It's Confucius, I can't say his name, but the Chinese philosopher. It's a film about him. It's got some fighting and some samurai stuff in it, so it looks good to me. So I was like, I'm going to get this. It's £2. It's a little bit more than I want to pay, but it's a Blu-ray. So took it up to the counter and the lady said to me, oh, are you sure there's nothing else you want? Because it's buy one, get two free. And I was like, I will go back and have another look if you're going to give me 2 free items. And then she said to me, it's anything on that media shelf. So CDs, DVDs, vinyl. And no, CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays. Not vinyl. I was like, that's fine. Not in the market for vinyl. So I went back and had a look and I found another Blu-ray. Probably wouldn't have bought this if it wasn't free. But this is Daybreakers. I know very little about it. It's got a very beaten up slipcase on it, but it's got William Dafoe in it, I believe, which is good. It's got Ethan Hawke in it, which is also good, and Sam Neill. So all 3 of those are good actors in my book. It's set in 2019. That's the problem, I guess, with those not too distant futures films, is that at some point it becomes the past, doesn't it? So I picked this up because it was free. It was the only other Blu-ray I was interested in, and then I went to the CDs and I ended up getting this, and this was actually the price I paid for all 3, so it was $2.50 in total. I'm a massive Bruce Springsteen fan, and this is actually not one I own. I'm not a massive fan of greatest hits collections, but this has live tracks, and it's got 3 discs, and I'm a Springsteen fan, and it was kind of free, and it would go well in the car. So I thought, why not? The discs are in good condition. It's got the booklet, £2.50, and then I got these 2 for free. It's a flipping deal. Flipping deal in my book. So this is the kind of standard we're having today, which is why this video is so blooming long. and how probably the reason why there's not that much hunt footage, because I was just like, you can't watch an hour-long video. And the next shop I went into was a bookshop that I worked at. I did take some footage here, whether you've seen it or not, I don't know. They didn't have loads of stuff that I wanted in this bookshop actually, but there was one thing I got very excited about. Those of you that know of the other thing that I do, which is Real Life Ghost Stories podcast, which is why we've got all this spooky stuff up here, will know what a massive fan I am of James Herbert and how excited I am about The Shrine coming out, because that's one of my favourite books by him. I actually own no James Herbert books anymore. They've got lost in the trail. So I set out to rectify that today. And the first one I came across was this one, James Herbert, The Jonah, which I've never read, actually. So I'm quite excited. This is almost like a new James Herbert book, which is kind of impossible because he's dead. But yeah, I'm very excited to read this. He, in my opinion, is the actual true master of horror. But I know that's open to debate. So yeah, I picked this up. That was the only thing I got in that bookshop, but that was good. I then went next door. I went next door to the British Red Cross, which was closed last time. Very chaotic charity shop. Looked through the stuff, looked through the media, and I came across 2 more DVDs, both of which I feel are for 50p Movie Club. The first one I got was Winter Soldier. Now you're thinking to yourselves, why has he got Winter Soldier for 50p Movie Club? That's a blockbuster. It's not that Winter Soldier. It's this one. So this is about soldiers in the ice. Yeah, I mean, it's got a slipcover. It's science fiction. I've never heard of it before. I like the cover. I like the description. I like the fact that there's no named actors on this. Although it does look like, what's his face, isn't it? No, there's no known names on there that I recognise. So that'd be a 50p Movie Club movie for sure. So Winter Soldier was the first one. And the second DVD that I picked up is even better. So this is from the producer of I Know What You Did Last Summer and The Fast and the Furious. It's his well-known movie, Return to the Cabin by the Lake. This just looks like budget horror to me, and I am very excited. Having said that, Judd Nelson's in it. I thought that was him. So yeah, Judd Nelson's in it, which is interesting. I thought that was Kevin Bacon as well, but yeah, Judd Nelson. So there is a named actor in here that we know of. This might be a movie that I've never heard of, which is actually quite big, although it was produced in 2001. So I feel like this would have been around the time that I potentially would have been picking up on stuff like this. But hey, Return to the Cabin of the Lake. This is 50p Movie Club. Judd Nelson, where are you? I then moved down the road a little bit, and there's another charity shop there, which is a De Meltzer House charity shop, I think. I went into there and I was really perturbed because I looked around and there was no media, and I was like, where is it? And I thought they just decided not to stock it anymore, but actually, to my delight, they'd opened up the entire downstairs for men's stuff, so men's clothes, men's like gadgets, so loads of little gadgets, and then the media down there, which is obviously not men's stuff, it's for everybody, but I was very pleased. And I got another CD. I kind of like to collect film soundtracks when I can, particularly films I own. This film is not particularly amazing, I don't mind it, but this soundtrack is actually very good, and this is still sealed. So for 50p, I picked up the Suicide Squad album. This has got a couple of songs that I really like. Sucker for Pain is a great song, and The Heathens by 21 Pilots are great songs. But I'm pretty sure there will be other things on there that I like, such as Fortunate Son, which I do like, which is a Creedence Clearwater Revival song. So that's cool. So yeah, pick that up for 50p, still sealed. That's really cool. They also had a couple of Blu-rays. Now, the first one I picked up, these were £1 each. The first one I picked up is to add to my sports documentary selection, and this is Colin McRae, Rally Legend. It was £1, pretty standard. It's his authorised story, so I guess from his estate have authorised this story. So yeah, quite excited to look forward to this. Obviously, Colin McRae is probably the only rally driver that I knew anything about, simply because of the PlayStation games. And the first Colin McRae and the second Colin McRae are great games. They're still hard to play, but they're great games. So yeah, pick this up. That was £1. Now the second one, you're gonna laugh, but not only do I not own this, but I've not seen it. It's Inglourious Bastards. Me and Emma were talking about this, and she said what a great film it is. So I thought, you know what, it's £1. I better pick it up. The case isn't in particularly good condition, but the disc is, and it was £1. So yeah, happy to add this to the collection. From there, I went to another bookshop, which again was one that was closed last time. So it was that Crooked House, which I said was a really good bookshop. It did not fail to deliver. I spent some of my budget in there. You're going to see those things, but I also picked up some stuff for the Real Life Ghost Stories podcast, which didn't come out of the budget because that's work expenses. We didn't expense them, but I just justified it that way, so I didn't have to spend my budget on it. But they had such, as you probably saw from the footage, they had such a good horror / sci-fi / paranormal zone upstairs, and I just got a little bit carried away. There was so much I could have bought. I didn't go for the hardback James Herbert simply because they were a little bit more money, but I did get 2 more. So I picked up from that bookshop, for me, not for Real Life Ghost Stories, I picked up James Herbert, The Spear. This is another one that I have not read, so I figured let's give this a go. I kind of like the simplicity of this cover, and there's a really cracking picture of him on the back there. So yeah, pick that up. That was, I think, £2. All these books were £2, so that was £2. I also picked up The Magic Cottage, which I have read, but can't really remember, and that's always a good sign for me because I don't remember anything. So yeah, I thought I'd pick this one up to read. I kind of like it when he goes a little bit more folky, and I seem to remember this is a bit more folk horror. So yeah, £2. Again, another one to add to the ever-growing pile of books I've got to read. The final book I got is a little bit left field. There's a guy called Joseph Campbell who I've got one of his books. I think I've got 2, but I can't remember where the other one is, and I couldn't find it earlier, so I've potentially got rid of it, which is devastating. But he did a series of books called The Masks of God, which split up into 3 books. I had, I want to say it was Indian mythology, but that's the one I can't find. But I picked up the first one, which is primitive mythology. So Joseph Campbell has just done a really, this is a sort of, academic book really. And he's done just quite a deep sort of dive into religion and mythology from almost a historical standpoint. And I find his writing really endearing. Not in a sort of uplifting way, but just very interesting is the word I was looking for, not endearing. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this. The one that I do have somewhere is Oriental mythology. I need to look for it. That's the 2nd volume. There's then Occidental mythology and there's a creative mythology. But he does this whole thing about myth and religion and the faces of God. So yeah, I'm going to be really interested to unpack this. I feel like there might be some sort of things to explore on the podcast from this book. So I picked that up. So I've got 3 books from that for me. I got another stack of stuff for Real Life Ghost Stories, which I'm not going to go through today. But that was a good haul. So already my total sort of poking up, but the charity shops were so cheap. So cheap. Then I went to British Heart Foundation number 2, and there were 2 things in there. One was a DVD and one was a CD. Now, see, I told you I bought loads of CDs today. I grew up listening to punk and pop punk. They were my genres of choice when I was very elitist. These days I listen to a bit of everything, as you'll see from the CDs that I bought today. But when we were, this is going to make me sound really old, but before the days of the internet, or when the internet was dial-up and it was really took a really long time to do anything, we used to find out about other bands from CDs and from liner notes and from magazines. And one of the ways we found out about other bands was by buying record label sampler CDs. Now, I've done a pretty good job of tracking down various different ones that I've lost over the years, and I've got them back. But one record label that I've been unable to track down successfully, not because they're not available, but just because I don't want to really pay the prices they're asking for, is the Fat Records compilations. They're also not on Spotify, so they are, but only kind of put together by others. The originals aren't there. I found one today, and I'm so excited. This is Physical Fatness, Fat Music Volume 3. I love these samplers. It's got the usual fat bands on it: NoFX, Propagandy, Screeching Weasel, Goober Patrol, Strung Out, No Use for a Name. But man, these were the days. I was so happy to find this. As you can see, it's $1.99. I've got to stop swearing. As you can see, it's $1.99. So super stoked. Found that. I also I also picked up this film. I think this is for me rather than 50p Movie Club. I like westerns. I like reading westerns. I like watching westerns. My western collection is lacking, and I don't think this is a very good western, but it was 50p. So I picked up Age of the Gunslinger. It's modern. I kind of want to check it out. I don't know whether to put it in the 50p section or not, but you know, leave your comments below. I guess as it is a 50p movie, it probably should go in the 50p movie section. But I don't know. Leave your comments below. Let me know. I then went into the charity shop that's right by our house, and I picked up two things from there. One was a CD, one was a DVD. I picked up a third item, which was also a DVD, which I took to the counter because I was so excited because it was Snakes on a Train, which I feel like I needed to see. I feel like I needed to inflict on Dave, but I took it to the counter, and this is a charity shop where they tape shut the DVDs. So I took it to the counter to get the lady to open it so it didn't look suspicious. Looked at the back of the DVD and it was shredded. And I said to the lady, I'm not taking that, it's ruined. And so she promptly threw it in a bin. But what I did pick up was, there are some sort of pop artists that I'm really into. I love Bastille, I love London Grammar, I love Haim, don't know how you say it, Haim. And the other one that I really like a lot is a singer called Birdie. I don't know what it is about her, whether it's the vocals, the piano, the melancholy. But she released an album called Fire Within, and I own all of these on iTunes, but again, for the car. This has got some more upbeat songs on it, and there's one called Light Me Up on it, and so I picked up Fire Within for £1. And this is in really good nick, and I'm very happy to have this. The DVD, I kind of wished it was a Blu-ray, but at the same time, I didn't want to leave it behind because I've seen very little Marx Brothers. In fact, I've seen one movie now, I can't even remember what it was called. I've got Coconuts and I've got another one, neither of which are on this DVD, but I thought I'd pick this up because it was £2, but there's 4 Marx Brothers films on there. The discs are in good condition. The case needs replacing, but I've got a load of replacement cases from some stuff that I got recently, so I will switch the case out on this, and I'm looking forward to watching it. So that's my super massive charity hunt haul. There is one thing again that's outside the budget I've just picked up. I'm going to show you just because it's here, but I picked up in Asda, which is the Walmart owned superstore in the UK. I picked up this Jean-Claude Van Damme collection for a tenner. It's got AWOL on it and Black Eagle, which are two films that I really like. It's also got Death Warrant on it, which I can't remember. So I've been eyeing this up for a while. I went in there to get a light bulb and came out with this. Good times. I'm sorry this video has been so long. When you're watching it, just remember that I think I actually had to edit it. So it probably took me even longer to edit. But it was a pleasure to be back out. I'm glad I've got all this stuff. Obviously, way more movies to watch, loads of music to listen to, and a ton of books to read. Thank you for watching. As always, I do this stuff for me, but I appreciate anybody that takes the time to watch it, particularly when the video is this long. Until next time, I will see you soon, and thank you for sticking to the end.